Roll call, please.
Ms. Chekai? Here. Dr. Lee? Mr. Malkin?
Here.
Mr. Mislinski?
Here.
Mr. Pallid?
Here.
Mr. Schwartzmeyer?
Here.
Ms. Delai?
Here.
Mayor O'Keefe?
Here. Okay, welcome everyone to our regular monthly meeting for April 16, 2025. There are no preliminary matters. Public comments. Let's see, residents and taxpayers of the borough are permitted to comment on current matters of concern or agenda items which are before council this evening. If you'd like to address Borough Council this evening, we ask that you please stand in the microphone, give your names, spell your last name, and give your address so you'll be properly identified for the minute record. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. Be sure to hold the microphone down. As an alternative, written comments can be submitted to public comments at franklinparkborough.us prior to 12 noon Eastern on Wednesday, April 16, 2025, in order to be considered for the meeting. Please include April 16th public comment as subject to your email. Include your name, address, so you're properly identified for the minute record. Were there any emails?
There were none.
Okay, so time for public comment.
Mr. President, I just want to, thank you. I just want to make an additional comment. To the extent possible, we encourage you to, if there are, let's put it this way, if there are more than one in your group who wish to address council, we would ask that you appoint somebody if at all possible. If you're all going to say the same thing, we recognize that in terms of numbers that all of you are here for that reason. And if you could, as a courtesy, limit your comments to appointing a spokesperson, that would also be appreciated. We can't require you to do that, but we will maintain the 5-minute time limitation for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, starting with public comment. So we're going to go with folks that are residents that are registered to speak. So we'll start with Sue Johnson. Would you like to speak? Okay.
Did that work? Do we have a spokesperson?
Yep.
Good. Appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is Mark Jennings. I live at 1670 Oakleaf Lane, Pittsburgh 15237, and JENNINGS. I thank everybody today. Welcome. Good to see Franklin Park again. And we're here to address the removal of the trees at the entrance of Oakleaf Lane and in Franklin Park Borough at the intersection of Reese Run Road. We've been notified by the borough back in November for some signage violations, which now has escalated into removal of 14 healthy 15-foot blue spruce trees in a right-of-way issue that we agree we are in the right-of-way of the roadway in Franklin Park Borough. But we have maintained that for 33 years and professionally, and we have representatives of the community, not only the adjacent property owners who are directly affected by this removal, to touch really just quickly to say hello, introduce them, put some faces to the names. We've also reached out to the Franklin Park Environmental Council and have talked to Elizabeth Vargas, I'm sorry if that's incorrect, and some other folks to talk about initiatives and the environmental impact that removing these 14 trees will have. Last meeting we had Ron Puntiel, the original property manager that was involved with the changeover from the original trees to the current and our decorative wall, all of which we were under the assumption we had continuum of landscaping. I've talked to Marissa. We met last meeting, Marissa Hintmeyer, and she's agreed to allow us to put an easement on her property for maintenance that we would again indemnify to the borough. The borough could certainly handle anything in regards to maintenance issues. There is a water line 4 feet down, which is actually 6 feet down based on the 2-foot mounding. The water authority has weighed in and said that's not an issue because of the depth of roots in that case. One question that does come up that has been sort of thrown out there since the April 10th letter, the latest letter of April 10th, which has somewhat kicked this issue down the road for 6 months, trying to give us an opportunity to figure out something else. and about the timing and things like that. But most of the perception of that letter is that it's still not addressing the continuum issue, and the change up of this landscaping and wall has been estimated at $50,000. So if there's a damage issue or a cost issue to the borough, to us, to the municipality, we do have Neil O'Keefe here tonight, who is the president of the Franklin Park Community Services Association here as well. And we are very vested in this whole situation. We'd like to come up with some very good resolution. We'll indemnify the borough. The one question does come up, that's what I was getting to, is, if the trees are a challenge, why are sidewalks throughout the community, concrete sidewalks, reinforced cement, allowed in that right of way that we as residents are supposed to maintain, repair, and make sure the snow is cleared within, I think, 48 hours. So that's in that right of way. As to the street right of ways, Franklin Park Borough versus the state roads that were mentioned in the last walkout and some other nice hellos. You'll notice that the welcome to Franklin Park signs that are over here on Rochester Road, Reese Run Road, they're within 5 feet of the right of way of the roadway. You can measure that. I just did it on the way up on the road tonight. So welcome to Franklin Park, 5 feet off the roadway. And it seems like our snow plows and our maintenance crews and our safety crews can all make all these roads. And there's not one branch that sticks over into Oakleaf Lane. So I have a few other residents, but I'd want to get that back out to you. We look forward to a positive resolution. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Sue Johnson. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bill Kegel, spell the last name K-E-G-E-L. I live at 1668 Oakleaf Lane. I'm next door neighbors with Mark Jennings. I just wanted to give you a short history and context of where I am on the street. I was the first home that was built on that section of Oakleaf Lane in the woodlands of Franklin Ridge. We built the home. It was completed in May of 1991. We've lived there ever since. And we've had a tree line there on that side, on the other side of the street ever since, as a boundary between our plan and the home along Reese Run Road. There was a time in between where those trees that were originally put there had deteriorated. They were removed and replanted with the trees that are there now. And they have been there ever since. These trees have provided an excellent barrier and excellent landscaping for our property, for our plan. They add some beautification to the plan. They give us some separation, and they do not provide, or they do not give any type of line of sight that would be obscured. Like, in other words, if you're driving out of Oakleaf Lane, you can still see Reese Run Road safely. There's no safety issues considering with those trees, and also they don't interfere with the drive on Oakleaf Lane itself. So, I mean, that is my 2 cents. That's my addition to what what Mark already added to this. I just wanted to give you some context and some history. I've been there the longest of any resident in the woodlands of Franklin Ridge, and we really enjoy living there. We wouldn't have lived there for it's going to be 34 years next month. We wouldn't be there if we didn't enjoy it. And part of enjoying it is having those beautiful trees there and having that landscaping. I thank you for your time. I wish you all good evening, and hope we can bring this to a good resolution. Thank you.
Okay. Next, or should I go down the list?
Good evening. My name's Michael Abritis, A-B-R-I-A-T-I-S. And I'm also a resident on Oakleaf Lane. I'm at 1663 Oakleaf Lane, so the first house past the trees that are mentioned. We moved into that home in 2009, and when you move into the neighborhood, one of the things you first notice moving in is the entranceway into the development. The trees are a very appealing amenity to coming into the development. As Bill said, right across the street from Bill, those trees, from my perspective, they add privacy. They cut down on the road noise off of Reese Run. As Mark mentioned, they've been there since the development was put into place. It's a little unclear as to the problem that they're causing to the community, that they would result in the removal. So that's what I have to add, and thank you for your time.
Okay. Anyone else to speak? Sorry, you have to hold the button down, or she won't be able to. She won't be able to get you. You gotta hold it. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Neil O'Keefe. I live at 1642 Augusta Drive, Pittsburgh, PA 15237. I am the current president for Franklin Ridge. Again, trying to not touch base on what they said. The trees have been there since 1991. We also do have a sprinkler system that runs along that property, which tells me it was there, from 91. And then also an email from Andy Nook. Basically, I mentioned that there's two primary reasons why this is coming about. First was the situation that they have right now, public safety is at risk with branches. There is no public safety concern. It's off the road. We did have one tree trimmed back to show the speed limit sign. The second was the tree root system close to the roadway. Those trees are blue spruces. The biggest depth they would go would be 3 feet. They're on a 2.5-foot mound of dirt. The issues, with the water line, below it, it's not an issue. And I feel we, as Franklin Ridge board member, we spend over $30,000 a year maintaining the landscape. It's a beautiful place. We want to keep it beautiful. We don't want to just take something down. Also, I feel like we owe the residents, they deserve this. They love their community. They love Franklin Park. Last thing that I feel like we should do is tear down something that doesn't need to be torn down, especially since it's been there since the 90s. It's 30 some years, and all of a sudden want to do this. I just feel that the residents, they don't deserve it. Thank you for your time.
Any other speakers? You have to hold it down. Yeah.
What?
Yep. You're good. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Carol Godkins. Oh, this helps my voice. I live at 1656 Leaf Lane. And am I allowed to ask a question? Or do I only have to add, well, not really add, but just reinforce what the others have said?
It's generally public comment, but I mean, I guess, yeah, sure.
What precipitated this issue? Some resident complaint?
And the borough received a complaint that the speed limit sign was being blocked, and we went out to investigate. We discovered that the trees were planted in the road right of way, which is a violation.
So why does it result in?
The trees are planted in the road right of way, which is a violation. If somebody put a fence in the road right of way, for example, we would make them remove it, which we do. The same applies to trees. They are not permitted to be planted in the road right of way.
So did someone,
We received a complaint that the speed limit sign was blocked. We went out to investigate. We saw a violation. Once we know of a violation, we cannot simply turn our back on it. In the history of the borough, we, yeah, we received a complaint about the speed limit sign being blocked. We had to address that. So we went out and looked at it. And when we went out and looked at it, we saw that the trees were planted in the road right of way illegally. So at that point, we must take action. Yes, we cannot turn our backs on that.
well, that sounds like it doesn't matter what the rest of us have to say. We have to make,
That's correct. If somebody built a shed on somebody else's property, for example, we would have to do something about that, yeah. And even though the person who built the shed said, well, I like that shed, well, it's on your neighbor's property, therefore it's a violation.
was this just a courtesy to those of us who oppose this? To have us,
I'm sorry, we sent out a letter stating what we were going to do, and then you decided to show up tonight and speak.
well, the email that we got yesterday or the day before,
I'm not aware of
from
an email
the
from yesterday. or the day
Cranberry
before.
Management or whatever they're,
I can't speak for them.
well, it was about this issue. And responding, only sending in yes responses, not asking for no responses.
Didn't come from us.
That-
I have
that's
no
not a
idea what you're
borough.
talking about.
That's not a borough email. That's not from the borough. That must be from an association. So it's not from the borough sending that message.
Right?
Okay, but we
But
cannot.
we can't control what they tell you.
We cannot intervene.
Then
with
why
what
did they
guys-
want to know how we felt about it?
We have no idea. You'd have to ask them.
You'd have
that
to ask
question.
them. We cannot intervene or run the HOA. That's an HOA.
Sorry to have taken someone else's
No,
time.
that's okay.
Thank you.
That's fine. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? And also, if you're signed up for anything other than the oak leaf trees, we do have somebody signed up for road issues and Sellers Walk. If you wanted to come speak, okay.
Hello. Sorry. Hello, I'm Bryce Miller. Miller. I live at 1430 North Shevlin Court. I'm here tonight to speak about the roads at North Shevlin Court. As you can see, I'm in my Boy Scout uniform because I'm here. I'm currently a Life Scout and I'm very close to my Eagle Scout. I've come here tonight to talk about a public issue so I can get closer to Eagle Scout. Tonight, I'd like to talk about the roads in Settlers Walk. Three specific ones. There are three major roads in Settlers Walk that I think need to be addressed because they are very beaten down and they have lots of cracks in them, and they just don't look like they've been maintained. There are three major roads, like I said, in Settlers Walk. And I think there was a petition about 2 months ago with over 170 people signing this petition asking if these roads could be fixed, because I drove over them on my way here, and I could say I couldn't go 10 seconds without running over another crack, and I could feel it. These roads include Holmes Drive, Pioneer Drive, and Colonial Drive. And like I said, over 170 people have come to address this issue, and over 2 months ago, around February 19th, there was groups of people here coming to speak about this issue. What I'd like to say is that I would want to ask if there's anything being done about this issue currently, and if there's anything that people like my age can do to help this issue being done. Thank you.
Gary, if you went away and you can, but Bryce, I don't know if you were here a couple months ago when we discussed it. We do address all roads after the weather calms down, and we're getting into that period soon. But I'll let Gary take it if there's anything else he wants to add.
Because I thought it'd be a good idea to address it right now since the weather's been calming down and it's getting into summer and lots of people are going to be like, especially kids, are going to be out on their bicycles. And we don't want to prevent injuries. Like if like they slip, like if like the tire gets stuck on a crack, we don't want to have more injuries. So I thought it'd be a good idea to address this tonight. Thank you.
Bryce, yeah, we are looking into, we take care of the cracks and seal the cracks during the year. We'll take care of them. As of right now, the roads in Settlers Walk, they're not scheduled to be repaved this year. But we will take care of the cracks and stuff in there throughout the year, throughout the summer.
Okay.
I would just like
Go
to,
ahead,
I would just like to wish you your very best as you make your climb to Eagle Scout. It's one of the best things you can do in your life, and thank you for being a scout. And good luck with all that. You're welcome.
Okay. Do we have any other speakers during the public comment period? Okay. If not, thank you. On the monthly reports, the minutes of the March 19, 2025 pre-post meeting, March 19, 2025 regular meeting, and the April 2nd, 2025 work session minutes were given to mayor and councilor. Any additions, corrections? Seeing as there are none, motion number 1.
Move the minutes of the March 19th, 2025 pre-post meeting, the March 19th, 2025 regular meeting, and the April 2nd, 2025 work session minutes be approved.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Abstain? Motion carries. Treasurer's financial report.
Thank you. General fund revenue for the month of March totaled $771,789, which represents 5.49% of the 2025 total budget. General fund revenue year to date through March totaled $1,297,261. That represents 9.23% of the 2025 total budget year to date. Expenses, general fund expenditures for the month of March totaled $553,645. That represents 3.63% of the 2025 total budget. General fund expenditures year to date through March totaled $2,032,528. That represents 13.31% of the 2025 total budget year to date. And that is the end of the report, Mr. President.
The March financial report be accepted.
Any questions or discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Against? Abstain? Motion number 2 carries. Police report.
Thank you, Mr. President. In March, our Franklin Park Police serviced 524 calls that resulted in 16 arrests, 1 DUI, 2 2 forged documents, 2 disorderly conduct, 2 harassment, 1 retail theft, 1 terroristic threat, 1 unauthorized vehicle use, 1 public drunkenness, 1 PFA violation, 2 drugs, 1 fugitive arrest, 1 accident involving damage to vehicle or property, and we issued 99 citations and 225 warnings. Additionally, Officer Mark Philippi has done an excellent job throughout his field training program and is now assigned to regular patrol. Recently promoted Sergeant Starko and Detective Blakely are performing well and enjoying their new positions. On March 11th, Chief Leach served on an interview panel alongside 2 other chiefs for the McCandless Township Police Department. And that completes the police report, Mr. President.
Recommend the police report be filed with the police secretary.
Okay. Fire report.
Thank you, Mr. President. The fire company responded to 26 calls for the month of March, including 6 dispatched and canceled en route, 3 power lines down, 3 brush, grass or mulch fire, 3 alarm system activations, 2 CO detector activations, 1 residential structure fire, 1 smoke detector activation, 1 smoke scare or odor of smoke, 1 cover assignment, 1 chimney fire, 1 CO detector activation, 1 vehicle accident with general cleanup, 1 no incident found, and 1 good intent call. The company was assisted by other fire companies 3 times, and we assisted other fire companies 5 times. Year-to-date fire calls are 83. For the month of March, the company expended 470 volunteer man-hours, and for the past 12 months, we expended 6,545 volunteer man-hours. End of report, Mr. President.
Building inspector's report.
Yes, Mr. President. Construction report for March 2025. 24 permits were issued for the month. 7 single-family dwellings, 2 additions, 4 decks, 2 fences, 1 hot tub, 1 shed, 1 detached garage, 2 commercial occupancies, and 4 miscellaneous permits. Total value of construction for the month was $3,895,987, and total fees collected for the month were $46,221. End of report, Mr. President.
Okay. Announcement of executive session. On April 2nd, 2025, Personnel Committee held an executive session, discussed personal matters, and Borough Council held an executive session, discussed property acquisition. Earlier this evening, the Personnel Committee held an executive session, discussed personnel matters. Also discussed personal matters, potential property acquisition as well. Moving on to old business. Motion number 3.
Move to grant revised final approval for subdivision application SF 25-01-01 submitted by Latera Holdings LLC for the Cardinal Ridge Plan, a 26-lot townhouse subdivision located at 2570 Alden Drive in the M2 zoning district, contingent upon compliance with the building inspector's staff report dated April 9th, 2025, and the letter from Lennon Smith Solray Engineering, Inc., dated February 14th, 2025.
Do we have any discussion or questions for the applicant? Is the applicant
Yeah,
here?
just one that I picked up, going through the plans, and council did receive an email, I guess, from Mr. Phillips. It had some elevations on it, 2 different ones that we hadn't seen, or 3 different ones we hadn't seen before. It also had a 10-page PDF with various elevations on how the buildings appear. I would like to say it's certainly the buildings have a very nice appearance now. I mean, it's hard to be critical. I'm an engineer. I'm not an architect, so I don't get into the details of aesthetics, but I think that most of the aesthetic questions have been addressed. Along the engineering lines, though, we did get one set of elevations showing the ends of the buildings as well as the rear elevations that kind of showed an extended building. That was one that we hadn't seen that before in any of the previous renderings. And it's not clear where that's going to, which one of the 26 units that's going to apply to, or how many. But I'd like to see a clarification on that. And then just before I let you go through that, that certainly increases the impervious area, and you just need to assure us that that'll be checked as you get the permits for the individual buildings, but we just need to be certain that we've allowed for the runoff from the additional roof area in any locations where that larger size building is constructed. Thank you.
Mike McEnany with Fox Lane Homes. Thank you for the comments there. A couple questions on there. The rear elevations, and then some of the different sides. Those are the options that we had spoken about. The buildings originally were 40 feet deep, and then we changed through the engineering and added an extra 10 feet for rear elevation extensions, either a covered a patio or a covered patio, or the half patio with a little bit of a dining room extension, and some of those actually show like a owner's bedroom extension with a sitting room coming off the owner's bedroom. Those are going to be options. So I don't know what, if how many people are going to buy those. I mean, typically, if you have a building of 5 units, you might see 2 people build the extension off the owner's bedroom. One person might just do a regular patio off there. But it was just showing the different, options that could be there in that 10-foot. We have already changed and added the stormwater for the back to go along the back for the stormwater easement to pick up all the water and ran all the impervious calcs. So that's all been engineered and taken care of already. But I would say that, you might get, 2 out of 4 people might add some of those options, but, that we won't know until people actually buy them.
That was my only question. Mr. Phillips, I'm assuming that as you permit these individually, you'll be checking those calculations, or the engineer will be checking the information as you issue the permits.
Right, the impervious areas are specified for maximum, I guess, stormwater runoff for each lot, so we'll be able to account for that each time a building of however many units are built.
Much.
Just real quick, Mike. So one of the options will be kind of the 2 porches option. That is okay. That's all I had.
Okay. Are there any other questions from council? Okay. Seeing there is none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion number 3 carries. On to new business, motion number 4.
The payment of bills which have been reviewed and approved since the last meeting and available for viewing on the Borough's website.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion 4 carries. Oh. Up? Yep.
Okay.
Motion 5, move to authorize the borough to enter into a second addendum to the development agreement with Black Oak Investments LLC for site development and construction of the Black Oak Investments office building located at 2402 Nicholson Road in order to extend the completion period until April 29th of 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion carries.
Move the borough enter into a third addendum to development agreement with Memory Lane Venture LLC for the development of construction of the Bliss Residential Land Development Plan located at 2041 Reese Run Road in order to extend the completion period until May 21st, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Mr. Phillips, how many homes, I haven't been over there, how many homes have been completed in that development? Is there still 4, or is
I believe that there's 4. There may have been a 5th one that was issued a permit.
just issued a permit?
I think
Okay.
they are working on the 5th or starting to, Tom.
I know I've seen the 4, and I thought there might have been another one going on. What's the total in there is 10?
Yeah, 10 lots, 3 occupancies, and 5 permits have been issued.
Okay, great. Thank you. No other question.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain?
Mr. President, I abstain. I have a written reason for abstaining that's on the record, so I'm continuing to abstain from anything to do with the Bliss development.
Okay. Okay, motion carries. Harley, would you please summarize resolution number 1382-2025?
Sure. Okay, thank you. This is a resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Franklin Park, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, declaring certain personal property of the borough as surplus and authorizing its disposition by electronic auction sale. Just quickly, the Borough Code provides that there are certain requirements that have to be followed where personal property of the borough is being offered for sale. Basically, it's an advertising anything in excess of $2,000. If it's under $2,000, there's other waivers and provisions. This is for the sale of a 2018 Ford Interceptor SUV Explorer. Its value is in excess of $2,000, and so this is a resolution declaring that and authorizing council to advertise and take bids on that property.
Move to adopt Resolution 1382 of 2025, declaring a 2018 Ford Interceptor SUV, last four digits of VIN number are 8414, as surplus personal property, declaring the estimated fair market value over $2,000, authorizing the sale and disposition at public auction on Monday, May 12th, 2025 at 12:00 p.m. prevailing local time on the Municipbid online auction website, which is municipbid.com, and directing the secretary to advertise the sale.
Second.
Any discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion carries.
Move to authorize the first of three payments in the amount of $14,000 to the McCandless Franklin Park Ambulance Authority as part of the 2025 annual donation.
Second.
Any discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion carries.
Move to authorize the first of three payments. Move to authorize the second quarter payment in the amount of $94,468.25 to Northland Library as part of the 2025 annual donation.
Any discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion carries.
Move to announce the 2025 scholarship recipients.
Any discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion carries. I'm going to read the recipients now. Okay. Okay, so the 2025 Franklin Park Scholarship recipients. Apologies in advance if I do not pronounce it correctly. So first recipient is Anna Bridges, North Allegheny High School. Caden Kurikowski, North Allegheny High School. Linda Kong, North Allegheny High School. Andrew Lee, North Allegheny High School. Tanae Mishra, North Allegheny High School. Julia O'Keefe, North Allegheny High School. Emily Quinlan, North Allegheny High School. Neil Lynch, Samantha, North Allegheny High School. Emily Sopart, North Allegheny High School. Catherine Varghese, Swickley Academy. Arshia Zaidi, North Allegheny High School. Motion number 11.
Move.
Authorize the purchase of the 2024 Ford F-550 bucket truck for the Public Works Department from Mobile Lift LLC of the Collegeville, PA, at a cost of $166,200, delivered on the post contract number 025-E22-472.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just one, Mr. President. Gary, I know that this was one we've been talking about for 2 or 3 years. Is there any trade-in of the old one, or will we be selling the old one when we receive this one?
Our plans are, we're going to probably put that on municipal bid at some point. Probably, we got probably a few other vehicles that I want to talk about, probably the next work session that we want to probably put on the municipal bid at the time, all that. So.
Yeah, I know that this, for the public's information, this truck is extremely old, the one we're using now, and this is for our fellows that are going up on trees and poles and everything else, and becoming a safety concern with the current condition. Even though we do have to have it certified every year, this is certainly going to be a huge safety improvement for the staff, as well as a replacing of a very piece of equipment. So.
Yeah, and it does have the, like the safety boom on there. It's an insulated boom. It keeps you protected from electrical shock. And then not only that too, is the borough got a grant on that. I believe it was a $100,000 grant towards that. It was that Reach had sent for, and so that'll help pay for that truck too.
Thank you, Mr. Gary.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion carries.
Move to authorize advertising for the rebid of the Clover Hill Golf Course Clubhouse exterior renovations.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion carries.
Move to release United Casualty and Surety Insurance Company maintenance bond number USCX 386X1839, posted as security for the maintenance agreement for the Squire Ridge Plan Phase 3, in accordance with the letter from Lennon Smith Solar Engineering dated April 8, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion carries.
Move to authorize the borough to enter into an addendum to maintenance agreement for the public improvements in the LaPlace Point Land Development Plan, AKA the Taylor Ridge Apartments, with Crest Brothers Builders LP, in order to extend the maintenance period until October 31st, 2025, in accordance with the letter from Lennon Smith Solar Ray Engineering, Inc., dated April 8th, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just one quick question for Tim on this one. I know that we did do the sidewalk last year. Do you have any update on when Deerfield might make their connections? I know that's not, doesn't affect this vote, but I keep seeing the bank there and
He's
nothing.
not playing nice, so eventually he's gonna hook it up. He has no other choice. It's just, I'm not getting any deadlines on his end.
Okay, all right, keep us posted. No further questions.
Of course. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Opposed? Motion carries.
Move the cash bond, use the cash bond in the amount of $12,500 being held for the maintenance of the McElroy Road LLC sewage facility located at 2453 Rochester Road be reduced by $10,000 to $2,500 in accordance with DEP regulations.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion carries. Harley, would you introduce ordinance number 692-2025?
Sure. This is an ordinance of the Borough of Franklin Park, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the condemnation by eminent domain or the purchase in lieu thereof of temporary and permanent real estate interests in real property for municipal purposes. This is in conjunction with your MS4 plan, and it involves a construction easement and a permanent drainage easement over two properties located in the borough.
Okay, thank you. That concludes the agenda. Comments, just going down the row, Chief.
Nothing this evening. Nothing else at this time. Thank you, Mr. President.
No additional comments, Mr. President.
Nothing new, Mr. President.
Nothing new, Mr. President. Thank you.
Nothing new.
No comments.
Nothing.
Just thank you to those who came out tonight to comment and share your views with us on the trees on Oakleaf Lane. Thanks.
Yes, thank you for coming out, and happy Easter. It's coming up, so enjoy. Thanks.
No comment.
Nothing further. Nothing further.
Okay. Are there any hands raised online? Andy?
Raised, Mr. President.
Okay. All right. Now we come to additional public comments. Are there any further public comments from the public? Okay. If not, get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thanks.